I learned to read bodies long before I learned how to read books. The strength in a man's shoulders, the quiet confidence in the way he stands, the tenderness hidden in rough hands, the way a belly rounds gently over a shirt, not ashamed of the space it takes. Not to mention the many times I've read the look of a bubble butt in a pair of tight jeans. Desire taught me that bodies speak, not in perfection, but in presence. In 2026, the world still sells us bodies like products, smooth, tight, eternal, as if a life without marks is a life worth more. For years, I believed my body was something to apologize for, a surface that failed the advertisement of perfection. But my skin was never decoration. It was data. Every scar, a timestamp. Every stretch mark, a memory of growth. Every line, a record of having stayed alive. Every scratch, the assurance of a wild night, with a hot man whose nails were never trimmed, when it would have been easier to disappear. This body is not the body of a man who escaped life. It is the body of a man who endured it. There was a time I treated my body like a problem to be solved. I hid it in dim rooms, turned off lights, pulled shirts down, avoided mirrors like they were witnesses, countless gym hours, exhausting diets. I learned shame before I learned love. Shame about how I wanted men, shame about how I looked wanting them, shame about how much I needed to be touched. My body became a place I visited only when necessary or visited by others, never a home. I was taught that beauty meant silence, that desire meant danger, that being seen meant being judged. So I tried to disappear inside my own skin. There were nights I prayed not to wake up, not because I wanted death, but because I was exhausted from carrying myself, exhausted from fighting my family, fighting my faith, fighting my job, fighting my desire, fighting the loneliness of wanting love in a world that taught me my wanting was wrong. My body kept the score, and every wound became a quiet accusation. The body learns before the mind understands. It learns fear in the shoulders. It learns rejection in the chest. It learns survival in the way you flinch before someone even raises their voice. There were battles no one applauded. Battles with illness. Battles with abandonment. Battles with men who wanted my body but not my heart. There were scars I tried to hide. Marks I wanted erased. Evidence I wished didn't exist. Sometimes I looked at myself and saw only damage, as if life had vandalized me. I wanted a body that told a simpler story, one without footnotes, one without pain in the margins. But life does not write in clean lines. It writes in scars. One day, I stopped asking my body to look like someone who never suffered. I began to ask it a different question. How did you keep me alive? And for the first time, I listened. My scars were not failures. They were timestamps of endurance. My stretch marks were not flaws. They were proof that I expanded to contain more life than I thought I could carry. Even if I could erase them with surgery, smooth the surface, polish the evidence, I realized I would be erasing my own history. And I'm no longer interested in pretending I was never hurt. These marks remind me of who I was. They remind me of what I survived. They remind me that the life I live now was paid for by the body I had then. I began to read my body like a map. This scar? That was the year I almost gave up. This line. That was the season I learned to ask for help. This softness. That is what safety looks like when you finally stop being at war with yourself. My body is not a monument to perfection. It is a record of presence, a geography of survival. a cartography of love, loss, fear, pleasure, and staying. Today, my body is no longer my enemy. It is the place where love arrives, the place where another man rests his head, the house of two souls, my own and my husband's, the place where desire is no longer punished, but welcomed. I love the weight of his arm across my chest, the warmth of his body against mine when we make love on quiet, rainy nights, the quiet knowing that I am not disposable. I do not love him despite my scars. I love him with them, because they taught me tenderness. They taught me patience. They taught me to recognize gentleness when it finally came. This body is not perfect, but it is honest. It tells the story of a man who wanted to disappear and chose, slowly, to stay. A man who survived wars in uniform and wars in his own blood. If you are still at war with your reflection, know this. Your body is not the crime scene. It is the evidence of your survival. And one day, you may read your own skin and realize you were never broken. You were becoming